Good morning, guys. Ryan Carruthers here from the Betfair Trading Community.com, where we help traders go further, faster. We want to take their 95% of losing traders and turn them into winners. Today's one-line lesson is all about how to back and lay in running. What? So if you are new to this channel, good morning. I have been jumping on these every single day while we've been on lockdown. I've absolutely bloody loved it. And I've just gone through one-line lessons. So me talking about one-line lessons about trading that tend to end up being a lot longer than 10 minutes or 15 minutes. When I initially thought I was going to do these, I thought, well, I'll do these pretty quick, just a couple of minutes, give you some good content. But I was not expecting how much fun you guys have been on these videos and how much you have engaged with the content, which is amazing. And we had a BTC meeting yesterday and the guys were saying, those videos are so good. And it's not because of me. It really isn't. It's because of you guys giving me questions that you want the answers to. These videos are not about me, they're about you. So you can use these however you want. If you want to talk about my hoodie collection, you are more than welcome. But because you guys ask so many good questions on these videos, this is why you're getting so much out of them. I'm sure of it. So if the door goes, because we've got the fancy microphone coming today, I might have to lean out the window and be like, chuck the microphone up to me. Gonna try and make these videos as amazing as possible. So today's lesson, if you are watching, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, say hello as well. Say hello in the comments. Tell me you're watching. Tell me where you're watching from. Let me know how you're doing today. Today's lesson is all about how to back and lay in running. Now, for those of you that don't know about back and lay in running, what you're going to do is basically find a horse that you can back at the start of the race. Good morning, Carl. That you can back at the start of the race and you can lay it at some point in the race. And there's a couple of ways of doing that. You can dob that, you can look for front runners, etc. And I'm going to go into some of those details in this video. But I just want to tell you a little story. So I want to say, when you're doing these, you might be the kind of trader that sat there, you're at the computer and you're going, haha, I am going to be doing some pre-race trades. And I'm doing my pre-race. And the goal of your trades is pre-race. What I don't want you to do is become an in-play trader with a pre-race selection. And what I mean there is, you're doing your pre-race. Oh, that trade's gone against me. The race is about to start. Should I? I don't know. Well, I'm not that... Good morning, Abby. I'm not that far away from my exit point. This race is about to start. I'm sure this horse is going to run really well, isn't it? And you know what? If I just go in play, just for like 20 seconds or 10 seconds, I may just I might get out and I might get my profit, and I can get my profit, or I can save my loss. Yeah, I think I'm going to go in play. Yeah, because that horse is definitely going to do well in play, isn't it? Okay, right. So I'm sat there now. Oh, come on, this horse is going to do well. Boom, boom, boom. Noise for it going live. It's gone live. It's in play. And all you can see and feel is that pit of your stomach, because your loss has just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, because your horse is doing horrendous. It's just at the back of the pack, and you're like, I feel physically sick. And then you don't get out. So if you don't get out, yes, I agree, Lee. And this is the point I'm making. I'm going to show you and talk through back and lay in running. But what I don't want you to do is start trading on hope value. I don't want you to have these ideas in your head and be doing a pre-race, which is why I'm setting the scene now, because I don't want you to have that pit of your stomach feeling, that gut wrenching feeling where you're just seeing that red just go, whoa, and then you don't get out because you go, there's no point getting out now because I've lost 60% of my stake or 70% of my stake. There's no point getting out. And then you end up losing 100% of your stake, and then it knocks on and it knocks on and it knocks on. And it's just, don't do that. So don't do that. So these trades, caveat here, these trades, the rules of these trades are that we're going in play with them. Should you mark it as take SP rather than keep? I don't. On these back and lay ones, when I used to do them, and I know that traders still do them in my community, and the process is the same, because all I talk about is strategy. I'm not going to teach about fads, and strategy will outlast a fad. Strategy is the same. I take the price just before the off, and then I would get out. Now, the rules, let's talk about the rules of this. A couple of ways to trade in running. You can dob, you can look for back and lay in running, because that horse is going to drop in price. The rules of that are, for the dob, it's a little bit more set and forget. So it's a little bit easier. You're backing at 10, for example, and you're laying at 5. If it doesn't get matched, you lose your full stake. That's the rules. But if you're back to laying, traditional back to lay, if you're backing at 10 and you're saying, I'm going to get out at 7, but I'm also going to get out at 13 if the horse is doing bad, I'm going to take my stop loss. That's the rules. That's what we do. We don't wait longer. We get out. We follow the rules. That is where I am setting my big stake in the ground. I'm on my soapbox and I'm shouting it out at you now. Before I even show you or tell you how this is going to work, the rules are the rules. And if anyone doesn't want to follow the rules, I'm going to send Steve round with his rolling pin to bash you all on the balls. So, how do you do it? Let's start with dobbing then. So dobbing is double or bust. It's a cracking strategy to use. And that's exactly what it is. It's a strategy. So it's not a fad. So it's never going to disappear. And it's something that has been around for so long. It's like lay the draw. It's great. If you like horse racing trading, dobbing is a really, really low risk way of getting involved in it. There's a website called Pattern Form, which is free, and it gives you the stats for horses that have doubled or bust. And what I mean by double or bust is that you can find the percentages on Pattern Form that they have dropped by half, because that's what you need it to happen. So when you're doing a dob trade, you're placing £10, for example, it doesn't have to be 10, it can be £1, at 10.0, and then you're placing a lay at 5.0 for £2. So if that does hit that point, and it does get there, then you are going to win £1. Sorry, my cough is horrendous. If it doesn't, you lose your stake. So it's a really simple, straightforward horse racing strategy that I used to really like. And I'll caveat that by saying, used to really like, I stopped trading the horses a long time ago because they bored me. Yes. The other strategy, sorry, before I delve into that, the way to find those, get yourself to Pattern Form. You'll see the list of the horses. Really straightforward. You look at the ones that have a high percentage of dob rate. So not 50%, not 60%. I always liked 70%, 75% or more, because they've got a really, really high chance of dropping their price. And then all you need to do from there is answer the what has to happen question. So think about what has to happen. Does that horse double or bust on this kind of ground, at this kind of course, at this kind of distance, with this kind of jockey? I haven't traded horse racing in forever, and straight away, boom, I've just given you a really great way of doing it. I have to use automation the only way I can follow the rules to regard stop loss. Yeah, if you have to use automation, use it. Like, if you have to use automation to follow the rules, do it, because it takes the human element out of it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap this comments section on the phone, because it's taken away those comments and I want to see them all. So I can see Shane's comment. We are talking in running horse racing. I've experienced these bits and pieces, but I've never managed it correctly. Okay, so what comes to mind when you're doing those horse racing trades? Like, what comes to mind? What goes through your head when you're doing those? Let's try and get to the bottom of why you haven't managed it correctly. So the Dobbs, great, go to pattern form, 75% or more, start to look at the speed, start to look at the other things that the horse needs, the what has to happen question. Really straightforward. I'm telling you, if I could get every single trader out there to share the what has to happen video, the what I look into when I'm looking for my trades video, it's on the YouTube channel. If I could get every trader to share that video, no trader would be stuck if they used that format. So let's think about the back to lay then. So when you're looking at a back to lay, how easy to get matched in running? Really easy. Like, it's really easy to get matched in running. Unless you're going ridiculous stakes, it's really, really easy. There's loads of money matched on the horse racing, and then crack on that way. To be fair, I was using my own personal race knowledge, so the results were a bit patchy. Perhaps I was waiting for a big swing. It sounds like you was. Whoa, was you getting a little bit greedy? You know, if you're waiting for a big swing, was you thinking about the big win? Was you thinking more about the potential profit, the upside, with negating the downside? And I know that's going to be a tough question to think about. But that's my job. I'm here to ask those tough questions. So we're now thinking about the back to lay in play. So again, it's what has to happen. Perhaps I was looking at the 2.0 to 1.5. Yep. He was looking at that big swing, thinking, I could do this, I can get there, and that's going to be a cracking win. But actually, wouldn't you rather, and this question is not just to Shane, this is to every single person watching this, would you rather lots of smaller, consistent wins, or one big win, but then it wipes out the wins? So those losses wipe out that big win and you feel terrible. I mean, it seems like a fairly simple question. And if you would like A, which is the simple way, the consistent all the time, just put an A in the comments. Or if you want B, that big win with the losses that wipe all of those big wins out and hurt your bank, put B in the comments. Let's see where people are. A. Yep. Because A. Yeah. A. Everyone's going A. But for some reason, when it comes to trading, people forget that. It's because you're in the moment. You're so intense in the moment. And this is why I'm so hot on talking to yourself and getting the triggers that trigger you to do what you know you shouldn't be doing and not do them. And this is one of the reasons why the way I do the videos the way I do them, because I don't want to just show you what to do. Good morning, Andy. You're hearing some home truths. I feel I can track and record my results more efficiently. Yeah, I am going to be that guy that calls you out on it as well. Like, you know, I am good. For me, there isn't usually a filter between this and this. And I want every single person to be a better trader. Like, that is the core ethos of BTC, is to take the 95% and turn them into winners. But for me, I'm not just going to give you a strategy. Like, if you want to go get a strategy, get yourself on YouTube now and go look at strategies and follow them. Fair enough, go do that. But, and I can give you some of those, and I do give them. But what I want to do is get you to think more instead of just blindly following a strategy, which is why I've resisted for so many years. And people have always said, can we do live trading and watch you trade live from over your shoulder? Yeah, but you're not going to gain anything from that. And at my core, I am outspoken, yes, and I am going to challenge you, but that makes you a better trader. If you just blindly follow a strategy that I give you, you know, it's not sensible. Yeah, exactly, Shane. I want people to think for themselves, because you've already got the skill to do that. You've already got the skill to do that. And one of the things that we might do at BTC, and we have done before, is we've spoken about a potential strategy to give to people, but explained that we want you to think about it more, and brought certain people in the community to develop it together. Good morning, Crypto Carl. So we had a horse pace project a while back where I had an idea for something, I had some data coming in, and it was like all mysterious, this data. It got passed down for about 20 different people, and then it got to me, and it was basically a spreadsheet with some horse racing data on it. And I've tried to replicate it because it stopped, but I thought, bloody hell, those horses, you know, they get quite close to winning. So I wonder if there's something we can do with that. So I put it out there on the community, and then as a community, we built something that worked. So some people might jump onto the community and see that we're doing a strategy, but actually it's more of a community project. And that's what we're aiming for. It's the same with the filters that we save on the members area. We're giving you those. We know that they can be profitable, but we want them to be a base for you to go off and build your own setup. And some of the best profitable traders like Frode, Keith, etc., they have cracked on from these filters and made their own version of them, etc. Not so much Keith, because Keith had his own filter, but then what Keith did was everything that we wanted him to do, and everything that we want members to do, is he worked collaboratively with members, shared his filter, and then people used his filter as a base to build other filters, and then they became profitable. Because it's about taking what works and building upon it for you, and making sure that you ask the right questions. Whew. That is... Whew. Okay, so back to lay. We've covered the dob. We'll go on to the back to lay. So when you're back into lay, you need the horse to drop in running. So how does it drop in running? Well, it gets out in front. It's a quick horse. It can handle the ground. The jockey knows what it is. It's got good history on that distance, etc., 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 etc. You go off and you find the answers to these questions, and then you build a game plan for how you're going to tackle that trade. When you break it down into steps like that, it is a lot easier. If you ask the what has to happen question, you go off, you find it. So now this race is about to start. You put your back on at that point, and then the horse starts well, if that's what your research has stated, and you monitor that all the time. If it hits your exit point, you get out and you move on. If it hits your stop loss, you get out and you move on. And it really, really is that simple. And this is one of the one-line lessons that somebody else submitted, and I didn't get anything other than back in lay running. So I just took that as, okay, what can I talk about that's back in lay? Well, dobs and finding front runners and horses that are going to do very well. Now, I used to do really, really, really well from the back in lay running, like really well. And do you know what? I kept it super, super simple. Thought about the what has to happen question, and I used at the races and time form as a sort of selection criteria. So at the races, it's famed for their tips that always seem to do really well. Now, as a trader, like, they do really well, for winning, but you can't back every single one of those and win outright, like over the long term, because I recorded that data. But as a trader, I don't need that horse to win, do I? What has to happen for me to profit? That horse just has to do all right. So some of the horses that they were tipping up were coming second and third. So they must have done all right in running. Oh, okay. So I used to use those horses as a shortlist, and then I would overlay that with the what has to happen question and start breaking those down, because they've now identified horses that they think are going to do well. Now, and at the races as well, it would be like top tip and then next best, but also it had the time form on the same tips page. So you could then get another like added level of security on your trade, and Timeform gave some amazing feedback on their write-ups on every single horse. So then I could add that data into it as well, and then I could overlay the what has to happen question, and then use things like pattern form to find the speed of the horse, how on the percentage that it dropped in price, and keep going and keep going and keep going. Did I hear you say previously that you're working on some horse racing software? Yeah, it is being worked on as we speak. We are building this software out for BTC, so it will be very similar to the football software, although we are working with some members to try and simplify it even more. So effectively it will be easier to use, and we can show you really simply the kind of things that you're going to want from that. So if you want horses that the price drops by bum in certain races, it will do that for you. It'll just be like and we're just going to try and make it really easy to use. So if you are a horse racing trader, just comment I'm a horse racing trader, or if you can put the horse emoji on the video, just to let me know. In fact, actually, here's a question. If you can, just in an emoji format, show me whether you're a tennis trader, a football trader, a cricket trader, or a horse racing trader. If you can, if it will work like that. Not sure if it will if you're watching this on a video, on a phone maybe. But it'd just be good to see the sort of split that we have on these videos. Another thing that BTC is working on is I am creating this success path for traders. So what I want to do at BTC is I want to take where you are now, or like, so not where you are now, sorry, ignore that, starting fresh all the way to successful trader, and what the steps look like along that journey. So Carl Dennis, send me an email with your top 2 questions when it comes to trading right now, like from where you are learning. Just put FA Ryan info@betfairtradingcommunity.com. Paul Horse is fantastic, and we want to take that journey so that we can drop in at the right points the things that you need to get to the next milestone. The way I see it is, you know, when you go to like climb a mountain, if anyone's climbed a mountain, I know I haven't, but there's certain things like if you climb Everest, you get to base camp 1, then you get to base camp 2, then you get to base camp 3 and base camp 4. And actually the best way to break that down is I'm going to get to base camp 1, then you've got momentum, not thinking about, God, I've got to get all the way up there. It's like, where do I need to get to? Well, if I get to base camp 1, then I'll just do that. It's like, you know, when you run sometimes you go, right, I'll just get to the next lamppost. You get to the next lamppost. I'll just get to the next lamppost. Okay, I'll get to the next lamppost. So break it down into mini chunks, you're going to be more successful, and we're going to try and make it easier for you, and go for that. I think I'm going to trade football, getting paid for watching something I love. What I know, it's amazing. I really like, I've been trading for so long now, like 9-10 years, and when I started out, I didn't really tell many people about it. Like nobody knew that I was that what I was doing. And then for many years I used to say, well, it's like investing in the stock market, but I invest in sports teams and athletes instead. And everyone just thought I was a gambler, and I still think that that definition is true. We are investors, you know, we invest in sports teams and athletes just like people invest in in stocks and shares and companies and stuff. We just think that we know that market better. And it was really strange that a lot of my friends were traditional gamblers. And then I'd be down the pub and they'd be sat there talking. We'd be watching the football and they'd go, "Oh God, this game's going to go. I'm putting a bet on over 2.5 goals." And I'm sat there thinking, this game statistically over 2.5 goals, there's a 63% chance of that happening. And 4 of the top players that score those goals aren't playing, and they've not broke through midfield yet. And we're 25 minutes in, and you're like, here we go. Like, yeah, you've got to ignore the doubters. I was at an event recently, and a lady said to me, "Oh, I couldn't do what you do." I said, "What?" And she says, the Betfair thing, because she said it's just the sort of stigma that's attached to it. And my response in front of a room full of people, my wife probably would have killed me for, was, "Well, it's a good job that I don't give a what you think then, isn't it?" Because I really don't. It's like, Betfair is amazing, and getting paid effectively to watch a sport that you love. I watch football and I watch tennis and I interact with amazing people like you, and I get paid to do that. It's amazing. Just amazing. Yeah, I mean, for ages, like, I never ever spoke about it. I never ever spoke about what I did with trading. Didn't give her any cream. A lot of people in the room was just like, but she was just old, antiquated, and yeah, it's just ridiculous. A lot of people are just like, it's amazing the way, because this is what happens. The better you get at trading, the better your mind becomes at assessing risk and giving you more opportunities. And you can assess those, and it will change your life. It really, really will, guys. It's the best thing that has ever happened to me. And we got an email yesterday that came through, and I am going to reply to the email today, I promise. And it said about everywhere people talk about bank building, but nobody talks about rewarding yourself for doing well on Betfair. And that really that struck a chord, because everyone talks about building your bank, but nobody really talks about, rewarding yourself. And I think that you should always look back and give yourself credit. And I've mentioned it over these videos that you should look back and see how far you've come. And the way that I build a bank is different to anybody else I've heard, but I go quarterly. And yeah, it is good telling them you get paid to watch football, Carl. You bang on there. I basically get paid quarterly, and then I'll take a certain amount over a certain amount, and I will put I will put 10% of that profit in the bank to keep the bank safe. If anything happens to the bank, it's like a buffer all the time. I'll take the rest out and I'll enjoy it. Now, if you are building a bank, you could do loads of different things. You could go, right, I'll take 20% of my profit out and I'll enjoy it and I'll buy something amazing with it. And it's like Keith is amazing. Keith has gone to Florida pretty much business class for the last few years because of trading, because he built his bank up. It's just amazing. It can be done. It really, 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 really can be done. But anyway, I know that we have some amazing chats and we go off on tangent. And does the going off on tangent help? Does the talk around trading help? Or do you want me to stick rigidly to the topic? Yes, it does. Great. Is that the same for everybody else? I do always remember that the topic in the back of my mind, always. You might notice that I go vroom and I remember it, and if you ask a question, I'll try and answer it and then come back and multitask. So let's sum up the back inlay one-line lesson in a whole total of 29 minutes. So first thing I want you to think about is you are not need to get into some networks and groups and get learning. Do you know what? If you've just started, the first thing I'd say to you is YouTube. There is so many amazing videos on YouTube that you can watch through. And if you jump on these videos at 10 o'clock every day, ask a question. You will never ever be ridiculed by me for asking a question, even if you think the question is so daft, like what is Betfair? I'm not going to ridicule you ever. Like, I was there once, and yes, got ridiculed, especially on that horrible Betfair forum. But I got skin like a rhino. I grew up a ginger kid. Like, come on. Do I prefer back to lay as opposed to lay to back? Ooh, I really don't have a preference. Back to lay, if you're going to do back to lay and lay to back, if they're exactly the same odds, you'd make more doing back to lay, yes. Back to lay, you can reduce the risk, but it all depends on you. Like, it's on you. If you prefer lay to back, crack on, do it. As long as you answer the what has to happen question, crack on. My 4-year-old nephew also has red hair. Mine's well long though at the minute. Well long. So let's summarize this video up. Back and lay. So the first thing that I want you to think about with this is you are not going to take a pre-match or a pre-race trade in play just because you also trade in play. You're not going to do it. If you do, we send Steve round. He's a big guy with a rolling pin. You put your balls on the table and he'll smack it. Okay? And then the best options that I found are dobbing, which is double or bust, where you place, say, £10 on a horse at 10.0. You place a lay for £20 at 5.0. If it gets matched, you've got £10 profit. If it doesn't, you've lost £10. You don't need a massive strike rate. Boom. Back to lay is where you are looking to back a horse in play, and then boom. So you're aiming for, say, a 10.0. Oh yeah, Shane, that's in the cards, that. But why do you want it in a hotel, hey? You're going to try and get me drunk? It sounds like it. So back to lay. You're looking for a price to drop in running. You're going to back it. You're going to find out what that horse has to do well, to drop. If that horse does not do that, there is a stop loss in play. You find that stop loss. And again, talking about that yesterday, remember that window of opportunity on your trades where the risk and the reward, that's what I want you to work on. So track it. So go, this is where I'm getting in. This is what happens. This is my risk to reward ratio for me that fits for me. And then crack on like that. Do that. So that is it, guys. I will leave you there. The microphone hasn't arrived, so I haven't had to hang out the window, but I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. and the microphone will be here. So what I'm going to try is that really annoying technology that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. The sound goes, the sound doesn't go, but hopefully the microphone will solve that issue. And yeah, I hope you all have an incredible day. Fire any questions that you've got through to info@betfairtradingcommunity.com. I hope you have a fantastic day, afternoon, whatever you've got planned. Laps around the garden, go for a run, yoga, whatever. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Same place, same time. And if you want to share it, share it. See you soon, guys.